release of new Rogue One images and information from Entertainment Weekly, and the news that the United Kingdom has voted to leave the European Union, i.e. EU. Twitter and other social media outlets have been abuzz with Star Wars discussion and lots of expanded universe, i.e. EU, and canon jokes. This was also a great month for Star Wars canon, with some cool stories added. Let us take a look at what came out and its place in the timeline as we explore the additions to the Star Wars canon, June 2016. There have been 9 separate entries into the canon this month. We start this month with a short story in Star Wars Insider 166 titled TK 146275. Marvel Comics did not disappoint this month, beginning a new and the final story arc, End of Games, in Darth Vader, issue 21. Poe Dameron, issue number 3, part 3 of Black Squadron. Star Wars, issue 20, another entry into the Journals of Ben Kenobi stories. And the highly anticipated issue number 1 of Han Solo. Titan has given us 2 new comics in issue number 5 of the Rebels magazine. And we end the month with Marvel again, giving us the first in a 6-issue adaptation of Star Wars, The Force Awakens. And finally, part 2 of the End of Games in Darth Vader, issue number 22. Now, let us take a brief look at where each of these stories fits in with the Star Wars canon timeline. With the conclusion of the Obi-Wan and Anakin miniseries in May, it seems the time between Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, will remain dormant for a while. Nothing has been planned that I am aware of for this era. The time between Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and 3, Revenge of the Sith, is another era that's quiet. With the focus on Star Wars Rebels and Rogue One, it seems that the pre-Empire era will not get many new stories. At least for now. Star Wars, issue number 20, concludes a story that was started back in issue number 15. Jabba the Hutt is furious at the man who humiliated him during the Great Drought, and he hires Black Krrsantan to track him down. How does Obi-Wan handle this challenge? We get a bit more added to the lore of Star Wars Rebels this month, with the addition of 3 new stories. The short story TK 146275 by Sylvian Nouvelle dives deep inside the mind of a stormtrooper. While the story does cover information in several different time periods, tailgating right after James Luceno's Tarkin, the present tense of the story takes place shortly after the destruction of Tarkintown, and does take place on Lothal, mixing in with the time and locations commonly found on Star Wars Rebels. We are also treated to 2 comics in Rebels magazine issue number 5, Ezra's Vision and Senate Perspective. We look forward to doing a deeper dive into the specifics of Rebels in the future, and will attempt to weave in all these offshoot stories in conjunction with the timeline of the shows themselves. After Episode 4, A New Hope, we have the first issue of the highly anticipated Han Solo comic. And this does not disappoint, as we see Han, who was attempting to earn money to pay his debts to Jabba, get brought back into the fold of the Rebel Alliance. No specifics have been revealed on the timeline placement, except that it does take place at some point in this era. We also have the first 2 parts in the final Darth Vader arc, End of Games. It seems as if all the loose ends will be tied up, from Dr. Silo's creations to his relationship with Dr. Aphra. Only a few short issues before the Darth Vader series ends, for now. Also, when looking back through Star Wars issue number 19, I realized that our placement here of the Star Wars Annual has been clarified a bit, as the events of it must have taken place prior to the Rebel Jail arc. We may be able to get more specific as time goes on, but for now, we will reposition the comic to clarify this connection. I also may have been a bit misleading to stick Battlefront Twilight Company here, as it covers the time both before and after the Battle of Hoth. Situation corrected. Again, nothing new here between 5 and 6. After Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, we have the 3rd issue in the Poe Dameron series, continuing to further the story of Poe and his hand-picked squadron of starship pilots. This month also saw the first issue in Marvel's adaptation of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. As this comic series is a retelling of the film, it will not live permanently on this timeline, as its placement should be quite obvious. But I will continue to bring them up as they are released, and will be sure to do one of our regular videos on each of these issues. Also this month is the release of Star Wars Adventures in Wild Space number 3 and 4, The Steel and the Dark, by Tom Huddleston. These books are dedicated UK releases at this time. While I have managed to get a copy of the first few books in this series, I'm reserving adding them to the timeline until I've been able to read through them, or until they hit a US release. For those who follow me on social media, we have just launched an Instagram account, so head on over and check it out. Links to all our social media pages are in the notes below. That concludes this update for June 2016, and as always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to keep up with all the insight and analysis found here at Star Wars: The Canon Explained. You can also follow us on Twitter or visit us on Facebook. Till next time, may the Force be with you.